Candy came and spoke to us about some issues we were having with our Shar-Pei Paolo. Tell us a bit about what your experience was like to him.
Yeah, look, Carlo spent sort of the whole time sort of walking like he was on edge the whole time. It's just he's walking around sort of at the lounge room, constantly sort of stressed, like he was walking on eggshells. As soon as we put Parlo back into the crate, he completely relaxed. So the crate for Parlo ends up being like a little signature. So if you feel completely relaxed, you could notice a complete change in Parlo's behaviour and stress levels when he was in the crate itself.
Yeah, fantastic. And so what's your take on crates with dogs?
Yeah, look, I've used crates and kennels for obviously over 20 odd years, the different working dogs and even encouraging sort of people in the private industry, domestic industry as such, to use crates. The big misconceptions for crates is that dogs are forced into a crate and they don't like actually them in there. It's the complete opposite. Dogs are dead animals, so they need a safe, secure space for them to feel relaxed. And for a lot of dogs, they're not comfortable sort of in the home environment as such. They constantly feel on edge. So I find that crates are a great way for the dog to actually relax. We end up setting up like just a nice, safe, secure spot for the dog. The dog relaxes in the crate, and they can sort of come and go as you please. You can close the door, you can keep it open. It just depends on the circumstance. But the crates end up being just a little sort of safe zone for the dog.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, Cam, why do you think Pepper chooses to go into her crate like that?
Look, originally sort of old style training was we'd use a bit of force of repulsion, okay? Whereas nowadays we sort of use a system where we actually allow the dogs to problem solve and discover, self-discover. So every time sort of we see a little pet go into the crate, we mark it, we'll just reward it with give you a little high value treat, whether that be a food, a chicken, voice bros, a book, depends on what Peppy likes. Now Peppy, just through association, just discovers that, hey, this crate is a really suitable place. Every time I go in there, I get rewarded and it's actually a happy place. Now once you sort of get Peppy used to being in that crate, she ends up sort of treating the crate like it's a nice sort of safe zone for her. So if we just allow her to sort of walk in there and she lies in the crate, she feels completely relaxed. So Peppy's now so used to being in the crate, and it's actually like a little safe zone for her. But just sort of going back to what I said before about dogs being dead animals, they still sort of have that instinct there, which is the problem sort of part of their brain where Peppy still, even though she's a domesticated dog, has still got that fear of being sort of attacked by a predator. Okay, now for dogs, back in the day, they'd sort of go into a cave or into a den and just secure themselves in there just so they feel safe. Now in your house, the crate's exactly the same thing. Peppy goes in there and she feels completely secure as she realises that she's safe and nothing's going to harm her. So yeah, nice safe side for Peppy. She loves it. Same with Parlo, except for you just see Peppy just sort of lying down here now. She's nice and comfortable.
And what do you think that people should consider when they're choosing a crate? What do you think's important?
The one thing when choosing the crate is just to make sure that you choose the correct size for your dog. Okay, so we want Peppy to be able to stand up and have enough head space, but also the ability just to sort of to move around in the crate. So Peppy can still do a circle in the crate there. She's nice and comfortable. So that's a perfect sort of size for Peppy. Now, so if you compare, say, a crate to a pen, okay, so the dogs in their crates, dogs from traditionally, be very, very careful, okay? So when they're in their kennel, things they won't spoil, they won't sort of do their business in the crate. Now, if you put a pen area that's sort of quite large, the dogs generally sort of find an area in that pen area where they'll actually view their business. Okay? So we just want a nice size that it's not too big, that your dog just feels nice and comfortable, but it's not too big that she may actually spoil.
And tell us what you like about the Paws Room crates.
Well, the Paws Room crates, traditionally crates, the traditional crates, let's be honest, are quite, they're quite starch and sort of industrial like, and they just don't fit. They just don't fit in your living room. Now, the Paws Room crates, obviously, firstly, the Australian-made sort of crate, but also they blend in beautifully for your house. Okay, so have a look at this one here, the pepper design. Just looks like a coffee table. Perfect. Peppy's nice and happy in there. And, yeah, beautiful design.
The training. For the sake of dogs, what's your experience with whether it's more of a puppy thing or an adult dog thing? Do you think there's an advantage to having a crate that you're happy to keep from puppyhood all the way through the dog fight?
Yeah, 100%. Remember what the traditional sort of views are. And look, probably the easiest time to set the crate training up was just through the puppy or pretty stage or through the assistant week. Like, yeah, that's the general sort of thought. And look, it's easy. You know, the dog sort of grows up sort of knowing that side. You know, you get yourself a dog. You know, we got a crate train the dog, which are still between sort of late to 16 weeks. That's when the dog's sort of brain development's at its greatest. However, what sort of is really sort of evident with me is that with the majority of the behavioural sort of cases that I have sort of with you know, people's dogs, whether they be big dogs or small dogs, is that the dogs are really, really suffering from a lot of stress and anxiety. And it all just comes back to sort of what I was sort of saying before about, you know, dogs being den animals, but they need that safe, secure spot. Okay, now if they don't have a safe area, they feel like they've got to be constantly sort of on edge and sort of guarding their territory. Yeah. So what I'm finding is that I'm actually sort of recommending the crate training to dogs of all ages. Okay, so if you have to manage, you know, they can't teach them, you know, the old dog traits. Not true. We're completely wrong. Okay, so little Peppy, she's discovered the crate, and she's just discovered now that every time she goes in there, it's a nice, safe, happy place for her. So that's why she goes back.